Let me tell you about the origins of the book The God Dilemma, written by me, Nathan Driscoll. It grew quite naturally from the essays I started writing about 5 years ago, fueled by my long-standing interest in philosophy and my equally long-standing Christian faith. I used to meet up with a friend of mine. He's a bit more skeptical than I am, and we would talk about the arguments. Thank goodness for him, checking my erratic punctuation. Even more for the ideas and questions he would give me. It was a valuable time of learning. The book grew out of those conversations and my reading as well. The God Dilemma is subtitled A Philosophical Walk for the Undecided. Now, if that's you, undecided, let me say a few words. The book is not about the practice of faith, but rather the arguments which support or undermine the notion of faith itself. It asks if belief in God is a rational step to take in principle. Faith is a journey, and the God Dilemma is all about whether to take that first step. If your answer is yes, then you will have to think about what God to believe in, and as part of that, consider if the life and claims of Christ speak to you. Reason takes us only part of the journey, but if you are like me, you are not going to want to abandon your reasoning powers before you take a step of faith. So this is the scope of the book. What can we know? How can we work out the limits of what we can realistically know and reason out for ourselves? Well, philosophy is a good basis for this discussion. So we might ask ourselves, for example, what did the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard think about the scope of human reason? Kierkegaard is a great example to choose, as he is concerned with faith. He thought our capacity to reason could only be time-bound. We are, after all, only mortal. So from that standpoint, it's impossible to reach an eternal God from a time-bound place. In his view, we still need that faith, but our faith is absurd, necessary but absurd. But think about this. If Kierkegaard had had the benefit of Einstein's general theory of relativity, he would have realized that time can collapse and expand. The gap between what he called eternity and finite time would not have been as unbridgeable as he thought. The biggest questions that science tackles on the nature of time and space increasingly inform questions of faith. Science is one frontier of human knowledge, a rich source of information about the natural world. It isn't, however, a moral decision maker. That's us. Broadly speaking, for me, both science and reason need a context, and a faith in a God who has spoken nature into being, but also suffered with us, provides that context for me. It makes sense to me of both the cosmic and the personal. I think you'll be particularly interested in the God Dilemma if you are studying philosophy or theology, or you may be interested in the debates around books like The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. You might be experimenting with the idea of faith yourself, or you may be unsure if religion is a force for bad or a force for good. Any meditation or reflection must, of course, uphold free choice and show respect to all sincerely held ideas. I hope this philosophical walk for the undecided helps you as you reflect on whether belief in God is a rational or an irrational step to take. Whatever path you're taking, I hope this book is enjoyable, respectful, and thought-provoking company on the road. Thank you.